At a certain college, some students went to the tutorial center and some did not. Records showed that those who went to tutoring had a 30% higher pass rate. Is this an observational or experimental study? Well, and then let me look at 15. At a certain college, 100 students were randomly broken into two groups. That's different. First group of 50 was regularly giving time at the tutorial center. Second group was not. Records showed those who went to tutoring had 30% higher pass rate. Is this observational, experimental? And which kind determines causation? Well, putting these all together, this one is observational. Why? Because right here, the students chose on their own, whether to go to tutoring or not. Okay, so what? So it is likely that those who chose tutoring were more highly motivated and would and did better well, and would have done better, I should say, yeah, and would have done better even without tutoring. In other words, it doesn't prove that tutoring is causing it. Do you see that? It's an observational. You just looked and you said, hey, some went to tutoring, some didn't. Hey, the tutoring people did better. Well, so we cannot know that tutoring is causing higher pass rates. We cannot know that. It could have just been that group that went to tutoring, they were just more highly motivated. Whereas on number 15, come down here and look at number 15, that's a different story. On number 15, 100 students were randomly broken into two groups of 50 each. So the students did not choose on their own. So they did not choose. So the motivation factor is removed. So yeah, that's an experiment. So when you break them into random two groups, that's an experiment. And we therefore we know in this case tutoring caused higher pass rates. You see, that's how you design a study. That's down here. An experimental study is best for determining causation. That's the difference between those two. So if you want to determine causation, if you want to figure out if one thing like tutoring is really causing people to pass more, you can't give them their free choice. Like this question did up here. You can't say, oh, let's just see who goes to tutoring and who doesn't. And then, if the tutoring people do better, then it was the tutoring. No, if you give them their free choice, then the more highly motivated people are going to go to tutoring, and they probably would have done better even without the tutoring. We cannot know that it was the tutoring. We cannot know it was tutoring that caused it. You cannot determine causation. That's just an observation. You just observed what happened. Whereas number 15, we set up an experiment. We took 100, broke them into two groups of 50 at random. We didn't give the students their choice. So we got rid of them. There's going to be some motivated students in both groups. It's just going to be random. Therefore, if there's a difference now, the only difference between the two groups is some got tutoring, some did not. They're both a mix of motivated, unmotivated. And so any difference, now we can say, yeah, the tutoring caused that difference. That's an experiment, and it's experiments that we need to do to determine causation. That's how we do it. That's the right way. That's the scientific way to determine causation. You've got to do an experiment. You've got to break them into two groups. And you've got to figure out any differences by random assignment to two groups. That's how you figure out if something's causing something. There we go.